Good afternoon. My name is Qing Liu. I'm from the Office of Bioequivalence. Dr. Julia Yang and I will co-present the topic of how to leverage the Inactive Ingredient Database, that is IID, and justify excipient safety in ANDAs. This is our disclaimer slide. I will present part 1, which covers IID introduction and use, limitation of the database. At the end, I will share with you some contact information if you have any questions. So what is IID? IID provides information on excipient present in FDA-approved drug products. These products include ANDAs and NDAs. However, excipients in approved BLAs or OTCs are not in the database. So why is IID important? Because if an excipient is used in approved drug product for a particular route of administration, the excipient is generally not considered as new and may need less extensive review the next time it is included in a drug product. So the database may be helpful to your drug development, how to find it. So if you Google the term inactive ingredient search for approved drug products, it will lead you to the landing page of IID. You may search the database by entering the name of the excipient that you are interested in. You may also download the whole database to get an Excel. But let me use the web version as an example. So I searched the ingredient of acacia and got 3 records. Each row is a record. A record includes information of route of administration. They are all oral here. Dosage form. There are extended release capsules, lozenge, and powder here. CAS, chemical abstract service number, and the Unicode. Unicode is Unique Ingredient Identifier, assigned by FDA's Global Substance Registration System, GSRS. Some records have maximum potency per unit, as the last one you see here. Some records have maximum daily exposure, MDE values, as its first 2 rows. We generally use MDE values for safety evaluation of oral drug products. In the last few years, FDA has been trying to populate the database with more MDE values. So hopefully in the near future, we will be able to find the MDE for the last record here. So if a record is updated recently, it has a Y in the last column. So IID is very helpful. What are the limitations? The database currently does not provide information regarding the different exposure models. For example, it does not have information regarding safety in pediatric populations, acute versus chronic. This information may be needed during a technical review. Therefore, the inclusion of an excipient at a level described in the IID does not necessarily satisfy all the FDA requirements. You may be asked to provide additional information at the filing or review stage. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. For questions regarding IID entries, please email IID update. For questions regarding corrections, excipient names, Unicode, please email FDA SRS. So for application or drug-specific questions regarding the use of excipients in generic drug products, you may submit controlled correspondence. So for the IID mailbox, please be mindful that there are questions we can answer and there are questions we cannot answer. We are happy to help you with IID listing or errors, clarification of names or units, but we cannot answer application-specific questions. We cannot disclose proprietary information, such as which NDA or ANDA a specific record is based on, or the IID formulation. We cannot answer questions regarding acceptability of the proposed excipient levels either. So I would like to acknowledge my colleagues in FDA. Now let me pass this over to Julie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ru. Good afternoon. I'm Julia Yang. I'm a pharmacologist in the Division of Pharmacology Toxicology Review. This is my overview of my talk because I'm from the division, I'm from the non-clinical toxicity review division. So today I'm going to describe our approach for the safety justification, when, why, what we review for the excipient safety from the non-clinical perspective. In our case study, I'm going to describe how we are using IID and address the safety gap and excipient bridging argument, and I will end with the summary. So excipient inactive ingredient intentionally added to the drug product, but we do not want to those excipient exert therapeutic effect. So and the applicant can use same different excipient for the generic drug formulation as compared to the reference listed product. But there is an exception for parenteral, ophthalmic, and optic use, which should have the same excipient. So as you know, a generic drug, we don't undergo clinical safety. So how applicant address this? So applicant must identify, characterize the difference in the excipient compared to the RLD formulation, and then provide the information to demonstrate whether these differences does not affect safety and efficacy. So how OGD evaluate the excipient safety? So I want you to remember here our key approach of the excipient safety as a take-home message: the similar context of use, dose, route, and duration of use, patient population. So during our technical review of the context of use analysis, we are going to compare the context of use in the generic drug product and then product listed in the IID. Then once, if you find some difference in the context of use, we will request the toxicological information. These are the list of some toxicology, non-clinical toxicology information I'm going to go over later. So those are to support the safety of the excipient. So we often encounter the common misconception in the justification from the applicant, stating that the proposed maximum daily exposure MDE level is justified because it does not exceed IID listing for the proposed route. So you may experience that sometimes agency accept, sometimes they did not accept. So it is because the context of use does not match. So especially the duration of use and patient population may not match. So for example, if your generic product is used for the chronically in the pediatric patient, but the product in the IID is only used in the adult and in acute use, then it will raise a safety concern. So in this case, for the safety gap of the context of use can be addressed by leveraging some non-clinical toxicity data. So for like chronic use, you can leverage the safety of the chronic use using the chronic and subchronic toxicity or carcinogenicity data. For the pediatric use, we can leverage it using developmental reproductive toxicity. And also, we often noticed that most applicants use IID tool to find what is the approved, the highest MDE of the excipient for the proposed route. But you can still use the even higher MDE, but it doesn't mean that it's two-fold, three-fold higher, but you can propose the higher MDE than listed IID. but you need to provide the justification, such as the repeat dose toxicity information. So for us to ensure the margin of exposure at the proposed MDE. And also you can submit the clinical information, which shows some safe prior use of the excipient in human at the proposed level. In this slide, I'm going to dive into the safety justification of polymer excipient. Polymer is macromolecule and sometimes it's complex molecule. So many polymer has a different grade with small differences. So the applicant may not find the exactly same grade in the IID. So in this case, applicant also leverage the information for the polymer using the related grade. So what is mean by the related grade? If there are difference only in the molecular weight, chain length, viscosity, then we consider those are the related grade. So your new different polymer, the grade of the polymer may breach the safety with related grade. So there is a two-step for the FDA review. The first step, we first compare the physical chemical property of the new grade of polymer. Then we will evaluate whether this new polymer grade and the related grade polymer share some similar structure and then toxicological profile so that we can extrapolate the safety of new grade with the non-related grade polymer. Then here I'm going to, this is some safety justification of flavor agent when it's not found in the IID. So we recommend the applicant to provide the safety of individual ingredient of the flavor to address the genotoxicity and general toxicity. And in the application, include the quantitative breakdown of the ingredient with the CAS number and CFR citation, or the statement of right to reference the DMF of flavor so that we can access the composition of the flavor for our safety assessment. So if OGD identify the data gap during our safety review of the excipient, the non-clinical information may be requested. And if this does not still remain some additional concern, so it requires some clinical study or extensive majority of the safety toxicity study, then applicant will be advised to either reformulate or pursue a 505(b)(2) application. So here I'm going to introduce some case study about why the context of use is so important. So the product was an oral product for the chronic use to pediatric and adult population. MD for the excipient is 200 milligram per day for both pediatric and in adult. So this is the screenshot of the IID of the proposed excipient for the oral route. And during our safety technical review of the context of use, we look at the 3 drug product, approved product, and the applicant referenced the highest MD 640 milligram per day as a justification. But this context of use of this product does not match because this is only used acutely to adult patients. So in our first review cycle, since the applicant didn't did not address the safety in the pediatric for the chronic use, so we recommend to the applicant to reduce the level of excipient or provide a safety justification considering duration of use and patient population. And then applicant submitted a controlled correspondence to asking our input which MDE is acceptable for both adult and then pediatric. So during our context of use analysis, we found that number 3 product can cover the patient population, but this does not still cover the MDE for the pediatric, because indeed the pediatric dose, MDE dose is half of the adult MDE. And what we are seeing in the MDE level in IID is adult dose. So the product number 3 cannot support the use of this 80 milligram per day. And we recommend the applicant to provide justification to support pediatric safety. So in second round of review, applicant proposed MDE 80 milligram with the justification using the publicly available developmental toxicity study. And we found this, the proposed MDE is acceptable for use of pediatric population. And the case study number 2 will be is about the different polymer grade. And it was oral product and chronic use in adult only. And proposed polymer grade is 2000. And RLD use polymer grade 1000. So in IID searching, we searching, there are same polymer family with multiple different grade was used in the oral product, but there is no exactly same polymer grade was listed in the IID. So applicant provide the justification with this their polymer, new polymer grade information of physical chemical property and then impurity specification. So during our context of user analysis, we identify that the similar grade has been used to the patient for the chronically, but there was no exactly same grade was used to the patient. So how did FDA evaluate this excipient safety? So we first confirm the similarity of the proposed grade and then the relayed grade with known safety. And then we look at the literature of the relayed grade. Especially we looking at the general toxicity of information used oral route. And then we look at absorption information from the different multiple grade so that we can correlate the absorption impact of the systemic exposure level. And then we're also looking at the toxicity profile of the small impurity, because the degradant of the large polymer is often more toxic than the large polymer. So at the end, the proposed new grade polymer was accepted based on the weight of evidence approach from the prior use of clinical safe use, and then non-clinical toxicity safe data of the related grade of the polymer. Okay, in summary, so IID can be leveraged as justification if an excipient was previously used in a similar context of use. Please remember the dose, route, duration of use, and patient population. So if there is a difference of the context of use in your generic drug product compared to the IID listing product, the PharmTox reviewer will assess the safety of excipient using the non-clinical information. So action to course. Applicants should provide information that characterize their excipient and support their safety for the proposed context of use. So seeking advice, controlled correspondence is the way to facilitate the review and reduce the review cycle. These are the list of the people I would like to acknowledge, and this is the list of the resource I used as a reference. with that, I would like to invite the Brenda and then previous speaker to the stage so we can start the Q&A section. Thank you.